Right. So today we're going to look at this place called Eagle Ranch Academy
Okay.
in St. George, Utah.
Right.
You sent over their overview, and we're going to kind of dive into what makes their approach,
Mm-hmm.
kind of tick when it comes to helping these adolescents.
Yeah.
They work with kids, 12 to 17?
Yep.
And they deal with some pretty serious stuff, right?
Yeah. Some pretty intense.
Like abuse, depression, anxiety,
Um,
behavioral issues, even addiction.
hmm.
So kind of heavy stuff.
Yeah.
For you, what jumped out at you from this overview?
Well, right away, it seems like they emphasize this choice-based program,
Okay.
and it's built around these 8 core values,
Okay.
and their accountability, honesty, forgiveness, acceptance, integrity, respect, trust, and service.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah. And it's interesting. They don't just list them, right? They actually say that they integrate them into their therapy sessions.
Okay. Interesting.
Which, they offer individual, group, and family therapy. And their goal seems to be help these kids develop an internal sense of what's right.
Okay.
Which can then lead to more lasting changes in their behavior.
I see. So it's like they're trying to build a compass.
Yeah.
Not just a set of rules.
Exactly.
Oh, okay, cool. So speaking of therapy,
Yeah.
they seem to offer individual sessions pretty frequently.
Yeah, they said 1 to 3 times a week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then on top of that, there's daily group therapy.
Yeah.
Covering stuff like CBT and DBT, anger management, substance abuse.
Okay. So a pretty good range.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's really interesting to me that they include CBT because that's, really focused on identifying and changing negative thought patterns.
Yeah, it could be super helpful for anxiety and depression.
Right. And I think DBT, too, with its focus on emotional regulation and distress tolerance can be really good for those kids who are struggling with behavioral issues.
Yeah, for sure. And it can help with impulsivity, too.
Right. Exactly.
And, it's also interesting that they do weekly family therapy.
Right.
Even if it's remote, over the phone or video calls.
Right.
It just highlights how important the family is in their whole approach.
I agree with that. Yeah. So one thing that really jumped out to me was their use of experiential therapies.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Well, they mentioned certified equine-assisted psychotherapy.
Oh, wow. With horses.
Yeah, and I thought that was interesting because it shows they understand that, not all kids connect with therapy the same way.
Right.
Like some kids might not open up in a traditional talk therapy setting.
Totally.
But working with horses can be really powerful.
Yeah, there's a lot of research that suggests that it can help build trust and self-awareness and emotional regulation.
Yeah, and sometimes even more than just talking.
Absolutely. I think the non-judgmental nature of the animal can create a really safe space.
I agree.
For those kind of vulnerable emotions to surface.
Exactly. Okay, so moving on to the academic side of things.
Right.
They have national accreditation, which is huge.
Yeah, definitely a good sign.
And they seem to really want to meet each student where they're at.
Yeah, they said they offer everything from catching kids up to helping them get ahead.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, or even getting their diploma or GED.
Okay.
And they even offer SAT and ACT prep.
Wow.
And college credits, too.
So really comprehensive.
It seems like it. Yeah.
And they do a blend of online and on-campus learning.
With certified educators, so it's legit.
Okay, good. Good. So it's not all just about, individual growth either. It seems like family involvement is super important to them.
Yeah, it's woven throughout the whole program.
Yeah, they mentioned weekly family therapy, obviously, but also regular progress updates for the family.
Yeah.
And emotional growth seminars for parents and siblings.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then they also have structured family visits, both on campus and at home.
Okay, so they're really putting in the effort to rebuild and strengthen those relationships.
Definitely. Yeah, and they've got the accreditation to back it up.
Yeah, they mentioned CIRF.
Right, which is a big deal in this world. Yeah.
Yeah, it shows they meet certain standards.
Exactly. And, they also mention endorsements from people like Montel Williams.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and former NFL quarterback Jamie Martin.
Interesting.
Now, these are just endorsements, but it does show that they've got some, recognition for their work.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And they're located in St. George, Utah, which I think could be a really supportive environment.
Yeah, being away from some of the challenges at home could be really beneficial.
Right, exactly. And ultimately, their stated aim is to equip these students with the skills and values. They need to live a fulfilling and productive life.
It's a good goal.
Yeah, they're really taking a long-term perspective.
Absolutely.
So I think to sum it up, we're seeing a program that's really invested in these core values.
Yeah.
And they're using a lot of different tools to get there.
A really diverse set of therapies.
Yeah. And, those experiential methods are really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
And, of course, they have the academic support, which is super important. And then that, really crucial family involvement piece.
Yeah, it's a really multifaceted approach for sure.
Yeah. And one thing that strikes me is how they're bringing all these different elements together.
Yeah, like it's not just therapy over here and academics over there.
Exactly.
And family support off in its own corner.
Right. It seems like those core values are kind of the thread that ties it all together.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So for someone like you who wanted to, get a good grasp on this program quickly, I think this gives a good overview of how they approach things.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good starting point.
Right. And it makes me wonder about the challenges these kids face.
Yeah.
And the role of these residential treatment centers. What are the pros and cons,
Right. And how much does this emphasis on internal values and these different therapies actually contribute to positive change in the long run?
Yeah, I think those are questions worth thinking about.
Yeah, for sure. And if anyone listening is interested in learning more, they can check out Eagle Ranch Academy's website.
Okay. And what is that again?
It's eagleranchacademy.com.
Okay, perfect. Thanks for diving in with me today.
Absolutely. This was really interesting.
Yeah, I thought so too. All right, we'll catch you next time.
Sounds good.